Saints, murderers and smugglers have all played a part in shaping some of the North East's most famous ghost stories, and today I count down the top 5 most haunted places in the region. Welcome to Paranormal Archives, I'm Bethany Rose, and today I'm going to be talking you through some of North East England's most haunted places. By the North East I am of course referring to the counties of Northumberland, County Durham and Tyne and Wear. All these regions have a vast history, and it's not surprising that there are a few ghost tales that have come from them. Number 5. Holy Island. Holy Island or Lindisfarne is located off the coast of Northumberland and is regarded as the birthplace of Christianity in the region. In 633 AD, Aidan founded Lindisfarne Priory on the island, with St Cuthbert becoming Bishop of Lindisfarne in 685 AD. After St Cuthbert died, he was buried on the island. After a few years his casket was reopened and it was found that his body was still intact, without decomposition, resulting in hundreds of people making pilgrimage to Lindisfarne in order to see his body. But, due to Viking invasion, the monks on the island relocated to the mainland, taking his body and artefacts with him. To this day, sightings of monks are spotted walking across the original rock walkway joining the island to the mainland. Other apparitions on the island include sightings of St Cuthbert walking around the island in his robes, as well as being seen in the priory grounds and around the castle. And on nights where the moon is full and high in the sky, he can be seen walking across to the mainland. St Cuthbert is also seen on the rocks making what's known locally as Cuddy's beans, which when woven bring the bearer good luck. Stepping away from saints, other apparitions on the island include that of a soldier who was sighted in the castle and is believed to have resided here during the English Civil War, when parliamentary forces attacked the royalist garrison at the castle. Number 4. Lumley Castle. This 14th century manor house turned castle was built in 1389 and now functions as a luxury hotel owned by the Earl of Scarborough, and like many other castles has its own resident ghosts. The castle can be found in County Durham near to Chesterley Street, and is famously haunted by Lady Lumley, who was murdered by priests and thrown down a well after refusing to join the Catholic faith. It's said to account for her disappearance, the priest told people that she went away to be a nun. To this day she is said to still haunt the castle, rising each night from the well and walking around the castle, being sighted by both staff and guests. Further activity in the castle includes sightings of a strange man in the corner of the bar, white anomalies being witnessed throughout the castle, and orbs appearing in pictures taken by guests. Some of the most famous paranormal accounts have come from world-famous cricketers dating back to the year 2000, where 3 members of the West Indies cricket team checked out because they were scared. In 2005, when members of the Australian cricket team were staying in the castle, Shane Watson became so terrified that he slept on the floor in another teammate's room for the rest of his stay. He later told journalists that he saw ghosts during the night. Number 3. The Schooner Hotel. Having held the title of the most haunted hotel in the country, the Schooner Hotel is not shy of ghosts. Located in the coastal village of Almouth, the Schooner Hotel was once a coaching inn built in the 1600s, being a regular haunt for smugglers with secret tunnels leading from the inn's cellar to port. The schooner is said to have 60 individual ghosts residing here, with activity increasing. Out of its 32 guest rooms, room 28 has the most activity, having hosted suicides, murders and family massacres. One story in particular relating to this room is that of a man returning home from sea, killing his wife and 2 children in the room. About 10 years ago, a woman and daughter checked into this room, with the woman's daughter waking up in the middle of the night and began talking to someone in the room. Upon her mother waking, she asked the girl who she was talking to, with the girl replying with the man at the end of her bed, and couldn't understand why no one else couldn't see him. Other rooms of paranormal activity include rooms 16 and 17, with guests stating seeing figures at the end of their beds and in the corridors outside the rooms. Rooms 28, 29 and 30 boast a variety of sounds, including knocking, bangs and whispering, with people also reporting feeling the sensation of dread, dizziness and sickness within these rooms. Further to this, there are also reports from guests seeing a soldier walking along the corridors and a maid occasionally appearing on the stairs. Number 2. Washington Old Hall. Washington Old Hall stands above a former wooden Saxon hall dating back to the 10th century and is the ancestral home of George Washington. The hall stayed within his family until the 15th century, before passing to the Malroys and then to the Bishop of Durham, William James, in 1613. It was under his occupation that most of the original structure was pulled down before being reconstructed into the hall that stands today. From here, the premises was used as a home for the wealthy, until being converted into tenements for the poor in the 18th century, where conditions were said to be cramped, damp and dirty, with 35 people fitting into the property in total. The hall began falling into disrepair from 1939, before falling into the hands of the National Trust, who restored the hall into its former glory, reopening to the public in 1956. In terms of paranormal activity, sightings in the hall include that of its own resident ghost, the Grey Lady, who has been seen for decades, mainly by children, walking around the corridors of the upper floors, and on occasion is seen weeping, but her identity to this day remains unknown. Other activity on this site includes visitors seeing the figures of children playing on stairs and the smell of lavender perfume in the entrance hall. Number 1. Chillingham Castle. While researching this list, Chillingham Castle appeared in every source that I looked at, which is why I'm placing this at the top of the list. Chillingham Castle itself was built in the 12th century and is located in the county of Northumberland, near to the Scottish border. Due to its position, the castle was a regular target by Scottish invaders, with the English even utilising the castle as a staging point to lead attacks against Scotland. From this, the castle began being used as a notorious place of torture and execution, with people believing that their spirits still remain within the castle. It's believed that there are between 6 to 8 ghosts living within the castle walls, one of which is the Blue Boy, who is seen in the Pink Room. It's said that his cries can be heard on the stroke of midnight, and that he would appear as a simple orb or a halo of blue light. During renovation work in the 20th century, the remains of a young boy were found within a wall, and near to these bones were pieces of blue fabric. It is thought that these bones belonged to that of the Blue Boy, with some sources stated that once these bones were discovered, no more activity from the Blue Boy were documented, but others state that his spirit still remains within the castle. One of the best tales from the castle that I can find is that of the White Pantry ghost, who was sighted in the inner pantry. This room was once the room where the castle's silver was stored, where a guard would be placed in the room overnight to protect it. One night, while on duty, a guard is said to have seen a very pale, frail lady who begged him for water. Mistaking her for a guest of the castle, he obeyed her request, before realising he was in a locked room alone where no visitor could have entered. She can still be sighted today begging for water. It's said that this longing for water could be an indication that she was poisoned. Further apparitions include that of Lady Berkeley, who was married to Lord Grey of Woking Chillingham before he abandoned her by running off with his sister Henrietta, leaving her to wander the castle heartbroken and to raise a child alone. Today visitors hear the rustle of her silk dress accompanied by a chill. Other activity includes light tricks, orbs, voices, phantom monks on the Devil's Walk, and malevolent presences lurking in dark chambers of the castle. Well, that's it for the top 5 most haunted places in the northeast of England. I do hope you've enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think in the comments below. You can also find links for all the resources I used for this video in the description box below, and my next video will be looking at the top 5 most haunted places in Britain. To make sure you don't miss it, please click subscribe and ensure the notification icon is clicked on in order to receive notifications for the upload. Thanks for watching and see you next time.